And what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Acceleracers for another video. Hopefully you guys are all doing awesome. It's been like 3 months since I've been in front of the camera, guys. But we are now back with another video, guys, and this is actually going to be the first video in a new series, or I hope it will be a series. We'll see if you guys like the concept. If not, it probably won't make a reappearance. But to give a brief intro on this video, guys, there's several different strategies to collecting Acceleracers. Some people prefer to, go and buy someone else's full collection and just knock it out in one fell swoop. Some people prefer to hunt for deals and steals on singular Acceleracers items or cars, on Facebook, eBay, wherever you might find them, and sort of piece the collection together over time, which is what most people do. That's probably the most fun way to do it, is to see your collection grow over time, because, it just kind of kills the thrill of the hunt, if you just buy everything all at once. But in addition to just buying things one at a time, carded product where you know exactly what you're getting, there's a bunch of people in the community that prefer to collect sort of through big, loose lot hunting. And to define loose lot hunting, there's probably 1,000 words that you could use to describe it. Basically, these are the people, a lot of times on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, you'll see lots listed of like 100 random Hot Wheels or 200 random Hot Wheels. People selling their childhood collections, they don't want to deal with going through it, looking through anything, they just want to get rid of it. But a lot of the times, people that know their Hot Wheels well enough can look at these big lots and pick out 1, 2, 3 cars that they know exactly what they are that they're looking for. And fortunately, Acceleracers cars, especially because of the CM6 and CM5 wheels that are colored, they can tend to stand out in some of these big bulk bargain lots. So some people will go in and try to negotiate a price on these big lots. Specifically, they'll spend, 40 or 50 bucks on a lot of 60 or 70 cars just to get the 4 or 5 Acceleracers cars, which usually end up being worth more than the value of the rest of the lot anyways. So it ends up working out. That's just another way to do it. And sometimes, guys, you'll find absolute steals doing this, because God forbid, if you find a reverb or something in a big lot like that, you're pretty much getting a $150 car for 40 or 50 bucks that you paid for the lot. And then you got all these extra Hot Wheels. I've always admired the people that do this, because they truly do find all sorts of steals, and they probably save a lot of cars from being thrown away because they're catching them. When people are selling stuff in those big lots, that's usually the last ditch effort to get rid of them and try to get some sort of value before they just toss them in the trash. Because it is pretty expensive to ship lots like that. It's like 18 or 20 bucks to ship 50 Hot Wheels cars because they're heavy. But I am a big fan of that strategy, guys, and most of us are pretty good at looking at those lots and picking out recolors, things of that nature, because, those castings have been used tons of times. But to find actual Acceleracers cars, sometimes it can be pretty difficult, like finding a needle in a haystack. And of course, there's the whole concept of, if you do find one and you're just trying to get the seller to sell you that one individual car, you have to do it delicately so that the seller doesn't realize that he's got something that's a pretty decent value and then jack up the price on everything else. Like if you find a reverb in a big lot, obviously you're going to try to just get the reverb out of it. But if you act too interested in it, there's a chance the seller's going to be like, oh, I wonder why he's so interested in this. And then he'll Google it, realize he's got a gem on his hands, and then your sale or your purchase is gone. So there's definitely a whole art and balance to doing this, and people are definitely gifted. They put a lot of time into searching through these lots, because obviously you're not going to find Acceleracers and Highway 35 cars in just 1 or 2 lots. It's probably going to take a lot of searching and combing through. And most of the times those lots, the cars are all smashed together, they're upside down, and people look at, the wheels, they try and spy a decal here and there. They go, ooh, is that a chicane? They're really scoping it out. But like I said, I've always admired the determination and, the effort that goes into this, because they truly deserve everything they find. They've really put some effort into tracking down these cars. And I think it's so cool whenever people are able to unearth, like a chicane or a reverb from one of those big lots. So recently, I've been chatting with a member of the community named Steven, who actually is very, very gifted, probably one of the best I've seen at going through these big lots and picking out Acceleracers cars. I know he puts a good bit of time into going through the lots. He has to. That's the only way that he's able to find all of these gems. But he has found some super sick stuff in these big bulk lots. So Steven's been sharing some of his finds with me recently on some of the lots that he's been tracking down. And it's really cool, because I love it. He sends me a picture of the lot that he's looking at, and usually you can glimpse an Acceleracers car here or there, or, I'll see 1 or 2. And then he'll send me the haul of what he got out of the lot once, he purchased it, obviously, or got the seller to break it down. And then he'll send me what he found in the lot. And usually it's like 7 or 8 Acceleracers cars, like sometimes a reverb, sometimes, a Highway 35 slingshot, just really cool stuff. And I love that whole process of looking at the picture of what he found and then going back to the original picture and being like, oh, there is a slingshot down there. Oh, there is a reverb in the corner. How did I miss that? And it just shows the level of attention to detail that it takes to do this successfully. So like I said, we've been messaging back and forth. He's been sharing his finds with me, and he actually kind of had the idea to maybe do a video series of showing some of his finds and the things that he's able to unearth from these big lots. And I think it's a great idea, because I always love seeing what other people, when they post on the subreddit, look what I found in this random lot of cars. I think that's like the coolest thing ever. But what we're gonna be doing in this video series, guys, is I'm gonna throw up a picture that Steven has sent me, of a lot that he's looking at where he's spying an Acceleracers car. I'm gonna sort of voice over it. You can pause it if you want as soon as the picture comes up. That's probably what I'd recommend, just taking 2 or 3 minutes, looking through it, seeing if you can pick out any Acceleracers cars in the photo. I'll sort of then say what I see in the lot, and then we'll go and show what he was able to pull out of the lot. So huge shout out to Steven for allowing us to take some of his finds. Obviously, these are going to be weeks past when he's found these items because we don't want anyone moving in and stealing some of his deals that he's been able to work on. And I know some of these deals take a while to work through with the seller, especially if you're trying to piece out the cars. So we're going to jump right into this, guys, and hopefully you guys will be better than this than I am, because sometimes looking at those lots, I'll only see 1 or 2 cars and then he'll unearth like 8 or 9, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I miss all those? Clearly I'm not cut out for this. That or I just don't have the patience. I don't know. But also, while you're watching this, guys, I'm trying to come up with a name for this series. And I really like the concept of, Acceleracers mining, I think is what I like calling it, but it's not really catchy enough because, he's going in, he's doing his digging, he's trying to mine out some gems out of these big lots. But if you guys can come up with a cooler name, like treasure hunting or mining or tracking down gems, I don't know. I need some sort of a snazzy name for it if this is going to become a series. So let me know down in the comments what you would call this series. And on some of these, the cars will be right in front of you. It won't take any time to spot them out, and I'm sure most Acceleracers fans will find them pretty easily. So this is a lot that was $5 for these 10 cars, guys. Look at that, right up in front. You've got a high voltage, you've got a rolling thunder behind it. What are the odds? Like, that high voltage looks like it's in really good condition. It'll probably run $40 just by itself. And this one will make sure everybody's breathing right. Hot Wheels, $15, right front and center, guys. That is how easy it can be. And it's funny, I feel like these are the ones I see on the subreddit, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have found that, but in reality, this was probably buried hundreds of listings deep on a Facebook page. And here is the reverb that was unearthed. It did have some wear on it, and that is one downside of doing this in the big lots, is that a lot of the cars will have a lot of damage on them because they've just been tossed around. If people are selling them for cheap, they don't know the value, and they probably didn't take great care of them. So this just kind of comes with the territory, but overall, that's not a bad condition reverb. And here's the first real big lot that you might have to zoom in and see if you can find some Acceleracers cars, guys. I'm going to let you look for a couple seconds. And these are the only ones that I saw in this lot, but some of you guys might have to correct me down in the comments. Steven might have to correct me too. For some reason, the other photo wouldn't load for me with what he found. So down in this corner, I see a jackhammer up top, I see the Drift Tech front and center, and then an RDO 9 down on the bottom left next to the Drift Tech. So those 3 cars right there. But if any of you guys see any more, definitely let me know down in the comments. But once again, if you're looking at this giant, this thing comes up on my screen, I'm not zooming in, but people take the time to go zooming in and find those cars down in the bottom corner. And here's another great steal. Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars starting at $1.25 each. And I think he said the Acceleracers cars here were $3.50 a piece. You see the hollow back, the Power Rage, and the riveted. But he said he missed this by like a day. And that's the other thing, is some people won't ship stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So you have to go and drive to them and hope they're within range. But I think he said someone beat him to this by 1 day and got those cars for $3.50 a piece. And here is another one, Hot Wheels Cars and Trucks for Sale, assorted lot of 50 for $20. Take a second here and see if you can pick out the Acceleracers car. And if you zoom in right there in the middle, bright blue, we have the Gen 2 Realm Series jackhammer. And once again, for a lot of $20, it's kind of hard to gauge the condition. Doesn't look like it's in bad condition. But for a lot of $20, that car pretty much pays for the lot itself. I mean, carded those sell for what, 50 to 60 bucks these days? And next up, Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars, over 120 cars with cases for $60. And I think he was able to get the seller to parcel out the car in this photo. I'll give you a second. Obviously, you should find it pretty quickly. But just in case you didn't, this was the Dune Rats Crazy 8s. And apparently a lot of these people that he's messaging with are actually pretty reasonable about sending out cars for cheap. I thought it would be much harder to get somebody to split up a lot, but it must be pretty common for people searching for different cars. But this Crazy 8s has a full spoiler attached and everything. Almost every Crazy 8s I've seen in the wild has had that spoiler snapped right off. And here is another good one, a big lot of Hot Wheels cars. See if you can pick out the Acceleracers and Highway 35 cars in here. I'll give you a couple seconds. And here they are, Power Pipes and a Crazy 8s without a spoiler, but a Power Pipes in a big lot. You know how cool that is? So going back to it, there's the Crazy 8s front and center in the lot. And then over all the way back on the far left is the Power Pipes. And once again, I probably would have never noticed that by looking at this picture for just a couple seconds. And this is another good one. Toy Cars, $135. So obviously this one is pretty self-explanatory. You can see the Synchro in the back sort of peeking out from under the pile of cars. So he said he actually messaged the seller and he thought it was just these cars, but it turned out the guy had a whole bunch of Hot Wheels and Acceleracers cars. And it ended up leading to this sale. And I believe he said, he might have to correct me, I believe he said he got this all for $20. Like I said, he might have to correct me down in the comments, but that's the number that's stuck in my head. And look at that, guys. A battle spec, a power pipes, the Synchro, the riveted, the metalloid, the baseline, so much good stuff. And kind of cool that he's found 2 power pipes already. And here is yet another big lot, guys. Feel free to pause the video, see if you can zoom in and find the Highway 35 and Acceleracers cars that are hidden in here. Give you a couple seconds. And time's up. So this was the haul from that big lot, guys. The high voltage, the 24/7, and once again, 2 pretty decently valued cars. I mean, high voltage and 24/7 go for what, 30 to 50 bucks loose by themselves. 24/7 might be more than that. I know carded it was about $100 for a while. I haven't really kept up with Highway 35 prices. And here they are in that big lot. If you zoomed in, they were up towards the top. You can see the high voltage just right of center and the 24/7 just left of center. And once again, guys, Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars. They're not titled Acceleracers. People have no idea what they're selling. But look in there. That picture is full of Acceleracers cars. You can see the baseline, the Excellium, the Iridium all on the left, Synchro in the top row. And then moving along that top row, you've got the Drift Tech, the Riveted, the Ratified. It looks like corner of a battle spec on the right, a Rolling Thunder right next to it. And this ended up being the haul. And obviously, once again, the conditions aren't fantastic on a lot of these, but there's an RDO 1 there too. That is so cool. For $20, you can find lots like this. I mean, that's probably, even in used condition, what, $50 or $60 or $70 worth of Acceleracers cars? And I don't want to make this video too long because I had a pretty long intro, so this is going to be the last one that we're going to take a look at for this video, but he has sent me a whole bunch of other ones, guys, and some that will absolutely blow your mind. So if you enjoyed this series, definitely let me know down in the comments so I can go ahead and start slapping the other video together. And that is going to conclude the Acceleracers finds for this video. So once again, still need a name for this series. Hopefully one of you guys can come up with something good down in the comments that we can use. And once again, a huge shout out to Steven for letting us review some of his finds on the channel. I know some people that have good skill with this, you know, they might not want to give out some of their tips and tricks or share where they're finding stuff because obviously it brings more competition in, but he's been really cool about it and I've really enjoyed messaging back and forth with him. So huge shout out to him, he rocks. And I'm sure he'll be down in the comments section if you guys have any questions or anything for him. I'm sure he'll be down there and he'll probably have to correct a couple of things if I misspoke on some of his finds. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button for me, subscribe to the Acceleracers Hub for more Acceleracers related content, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.